All right, another perfectly applicable real-life scenario. The instructions on Jesse's rocket say that the equation h equals -5t squared plus 40t models the approximate height in meters of the rocket after t seconds. When will Jesse's rocket reach a height of 60 meters? So this is my equation that's representing the path, the parabolic path of the rocket. I know that it's going to be facing downward because this value here is negative. We learned that so long ago, so it's going to look like this. I know that. And it's asking when is it going to have a height of 60 meters. Here in this question, we have whole numbers. We don't have to worry about decimals like we did in the last one. However, it does look slightly different because there's no c value in this case. And that just means, remember how in the last one we had determined that the c value is where it crosses the y-axis? Since there's nothing here, that means it crosses the y-axis at 0, and we can verify that on the graph. And you can see there how it went through the origin and had a y-intercept of 0. Okay, so we want to know when. So when refers to time, when it'll have a height of 60 meters. So when the height is 60, I want to know what is time. So I'm going to use my equation, and I'm going to substitute a height of 60. So instead of h, I'm going to replace it with 60. And I'm trying to solve for t. This is a little bit trickier than solving a linear equation. I can't just rearrange. I'm actually going to have to solve by factoring. So what I'm going to do is I am going to bring the 60 over to this side of the equation. And on the left, I'm left with 0. The first thing you should always ask yourself is there a common factor? Here I notice that 5 goes into 40 and it also goes into 60. So that means my common factor, my greatest common factor, is going to be the 5. And remember, if the first number is negative, I'm actually going to factor out a negative 5. So I'm going to bring the negative 5 to the front, and I'm going to divide it out of each term. So 40t divided by jumping here. So negative 5t squared divided by negative 5 is just t squared. 40t divided by negative 5 is negative 8t. And 60 divided by negative 5 is positive 12. Okay, so now I can factor. I'm looking for two numbers. I'm factoring this inside part, and it's simple. It's a simple trinomial. I'm looking for two numbers that add up to give me negative 8, and same two numbers I want to be able to multiply to give me 12. So after looking at the factors of 12, I recognize that negative 6 and negative 2 are my two factors. So I can factor it. The negative 5 stays in the front. And remember, this is a simple trinomial, so the t's instead of x's are going to be at the front. Minus 6 and minus 2. Now I have it in factored form. Now, the question had asked me to find the values of t when h was 60. So I can solve for t here, and I can solve for t here. So that means that t is either 6 or t is equal to 2. And if you look at the graph, you will see those coordinates on the graph. And you'll notice that for this h value, it actually happens twice, when time is 60 seconds and when time is 2 seconds. but the question had asked us, when will it reach a height of 60 meters? So we can answer the question down here. Therefore, the rocket will reach a height of 60 meters after 2 seconds and again at 6 seconds.